We are at video number 0017, The Way of Knowledge. There are many forms of knowledge in this world. Knowledge of worldly things, science, art, technology, and all forms of material understanding helps us live and function, but it cannot take us beyond the limits of the physical world. Everything in this material world is temporary and constantly changing. Because of this, we cannot find lasting peace or happiness in things that do not last. Through deep reflection and inner awareness, one begins to realize that there is a connection between the human being, the microcosm, and the universe, the macrocosm. The divine spirit within each person is not separate from the universal spirit that fills and sustains the entire universe. Since bliss, which is Anand, is the natural quality of the universal spirit, it follows that the same source of happiness also exists within each one of us. Therefore, those who wish to experience real, lasting joy must live their lives with awareness of the divine presence that exists in all things. However, the path to spiritual realization is not easy. It is full of both obstacles and aids. One of the greatest obstacles is the restless mind. The untrained mind jumps from one thought to another thought. The untrained mind jumps from thought to thought, easily disturbed by desires and fears. Yet, when we constantly remember our divine identity and feel one with the Supreme Spirit, we gain the strength, clarity, and determination needed to master the mind and move steadily toward liberation. A student is asking a question. You often speak of the way of knowledge, Gyan Yog. What does it truly mean to follow this path? The Guru replies, the way of knowledge means understanding the truth about who you are and what this world truly is. Most people think knowledge means information, facts, sciences, or skills. That is outer knowledge. It helps you live in the material world, but it cannot free you from sorrow. True knowledge, on the other hand, is self knowledge. The realization that your true nature is not the body, not the mind, not the changing world around you, but the eternal, unchanging self. The same spirit that pervades the entire universe. The student is asking another question. But if worldly knowledge cannot give peace, why do people chase it so eagerly? Guru replies, because the senses are powerful and constantly pull the mind outward. People believe happiness lies in things, possessions, achievements, relationships. Yet all things born in time must end in time. What begins must cease. Therefore, anything that depends on changing conditions cannot give permanent joy. As the Bhagavad Gītā says, verse number 16 of chapter 2, that which is real never ceases to be. That which is unreal has no existence. Only the self, your divine essence, is real and everlasting. Everything else comes and goes like waves upon the sea. The student is asking another question. Then, what is this self and how can I know it? The Guru replies, the self is your true nature, pure consciousness, eternal, full of peace and bliss. It is not a thing to be seen, but the very awareness through which you see everything. The Gita teaches that the self within you is identical with the supreme reality, Brahman. The same light that shines in the sun and stars shines within your heart as the light of awareness. The same light that shines in the sun and stars shines within your heart as the light of awareness. The microcosm, you, reflects the macrocosm, the universe. When you understand this unity, you see no separation between you and others, between God and creation. You realize, Aham Brahmasmi, I am one with the divine. The student is asking another question. If the divine is within me, why do I not feel that bliss? Why do I suffer and feel restless? The Guru replies, because a dusty mirror cannot reflect light clearly. Your inner mirror, the mind, is covered by the dust of desires, fears, and ignorance. When the mind is agitated, you see only confusion. When it is calm and pure, you glimpse your true nature. In the Gita, verse number 5 of chapter 6, Lord Krishna says, let a man lift himself by himself. Let him not degrade himself, for the self is the friend of the self, and the self is also the enemy of the self. When the mind is disciplined and turned inward, it becomes your best friend, a bridge to liberation. When it is uncontrolled and outward bound, it becomes your enemy, the source of endless suffering. The student is asking another question. How then can I discipline my mind? It is so restless and wild. The Guru replies, yes, the mind is restless. Even Arjun said so in the Gita, verse number 34 of chapter 6. The mind is restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate. Controlling it is as difficult as controlling the wind. But Krishna replied with compassion, verse number 35 of chapter 6. It can be controlled by constant practice, abhyas, and detachment, vairagya. Practice means steady effort, meditation, reflection, self control, and righteous living. Detachment means learning to act without clinging to results. Together, they tame the mind and reveal the inner light. The student is asking another question. Once I realize the self, what happens? What does such a person experience? The Guru replies, when one truly realizes the self, one becomes free from fear, sorrow, and craving. Such a person sees the divine in every being and every moment. The Gita describes this sthit pragya, the person of steady wisdom, as one who is content in the self alone. Pleasure and pain, gain and loss, success and failure no longer shake such a one. They live in the world but are not bound by it. They act with love, guided by awareness of the divine presence in all. The student is asking another question. So, the purpose of knowledge is not to escape the world, but to see it rightly. The Guru replies, precisely. The word is not to be rejected but understood. When you see it through the eyes of wisdom, you no longer get lost in its illusions. You recognize it as the play of the divine, the expression of that same spirit within you. You live in harmony, serve selflessly, and remain inwardly free. That is liberation while living Jivan Mukti. A student is asking another question. What then is the message I should hold in my heart every day? The Guru replies, remember this. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. The light you seek outside is already shining within you. Keep your mind anchored in that awareness. Let every thought, word, and action arise from remembrance of the divine. When you act in that consciousness, even ordinary life becomes sacred. The way of knowledge is not a dry philosophy, it is the discovery of your divine essence, the source of infinite peace, strength, and joy. Walk this path with humility, faith, and perseverance. Then the same spirit that guides the stars will guide your heart, and you shall know the truth that sets you free. Now, let us see this table summary for reflection. It is divided into two parts: key idea and their explanation. Worldly knowledge is limited, it deals with temporary things, cannot give lasting peace. True knowledge, Gyan, understanding one's unity with the universal spirit. The self and the supreme are one. The same divine essence exists within and beyond all. Mind discipline is essential. A restless mind prevents realization, steadiness brings clarity, practice, and detachment. The tools to master the mind and realize truth. Results of realization: freedom, peace, and unconditional love for all beings. Hari Om.